Hey everyone, Kurt Crowley here. First off, thank you very much for stopping by to watch this live training I'm going to be doing on how to use the Kindle Book Creator software that's inside the Society 11 membership area. I'm going to be exposing everything that I'm going to be doing. Everything is going to be done live. This is not recording. I'm not going to be showing any recorded information. And you're going to see as quickly as it can be me creating an actual book, and I'm going to have these being posted in Kindle. I'm going to list them and go ahead and get them started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and you should see the members area here for Society 11. Now, whenever I scheduled out this live last night, I had requested if you would go ahead and make a selection of a category for the actual uh, book creation, what category we're going to be using. And someone chose the very first request was dog training. So that's the one that we're going to be doing. I'm going to go ahead and click on the Kindle Book Creator now. And I'm going to click on the drop down, and you're going to notice that there are dozens and dozens and dozens. There's actually over 140 different um, categories that we can actually create our book from. So our very first one that we're going to choose dog training right here, and I'm going to go ahead and click next. And that's going to ask what the title of the book is going to be. Now, for what I'm just going to put in here for this purpose for right now, we're going to be changing the title of the book a little bit later. We're going to actually go over to another website that'll help us generate a good title. So we're just going to put a placeholder in there for right now. We're just going to leave it as dog training. And now it's going to ask us for the subtitle of the book. And I'm just going to put it's all about dog training. And then I'm going to click next on that. Okay. And now I'm going to be putting in here what gender do I want to have the authors come up and start showing. In other words, if it was written by a male or if it was written by a female or a combination of the two. So I'm going to leave it as blank. If I leave it as blank, that means it's going to select both. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. Now you're going to notice that the screen is going to start flickering, and what it's doing is it's actually writing these articles exactly what we're looking for right now, and it's going to write 7 list of tips from each author, or between 8 and 11 actually, and there's going to be 7 authors on here. So I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to go ahead and click on generate. And you're going to notice here we have our actual book, Dog Training. It's all about dog training. Those are the ones I put in there, and I have it curated by society11.com, copyright 2020 by society11.com. And then you're going to notice our actual legal description information in here, and then our forward, and then we go directly into the actual tips. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click in the text area, and I'm just going to do a Control A to where it highlights everything, and then I'm going to do a Control C. And from here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on this tab up here. And what I have is deepl.com. This is a translation system that I'm going to be using to help make sure that all of the words in here are in our appropriate language, as well as do some translation a little bit, which will make the actual articles and the stories that much more unique. So I'm going to go ahead and paste in the text here. Now I'm going to translate the text into German. So this will actually take a few minutes while this is going on. And I'll go a little bit further into the reason why we do this. We want to make sure that all of the articles that are being written are going to be unique. We do have teams of editors to go ahead and create thousands upon thousands upon thousands of tips and tricks and everything else for each individual category. But this translation just makes it where it words it just a little bit differently, which makes it that much more unique, which means zero type of plagiarism issues that you might have. So this is actually going to help that out tremendously. So I'm going to wait until this is completely done. And then once it's translated into German, which it is now, I'm going to click on this side, do a Control A, Control C, come back over from to the left-hand side, do a Control A, Control V to paste in the German, and now you're going to notice that it's now translating that German text back into English. So once again, this is going to take a little bit of time in order for us to actually do this. So we'll watch this. It's already a third of the way through, which is really cool because as soon as this is done here, what we're going to do is we're going to take the text output and we're going to bring this into Microsoft Word. Now, the training that I did just a couple of days ago, I was showing you how to do it inside of Google Docs. Today, I'm going to show you how to do it inside of Microsoft Word using Office 365. And this is something that I've been starting to use as well. The reason being is I'm able to have Grammarly check the words as well as plagiarism check right inside the document. So we have it now translated back into English, and I'm just going to do a Control A, Control C, and bring up my Google Doc here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste in the text just like we would do normally. And now I'm going to go all the way back up to the top, and it'll take just a couple of moments. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to prepare the actual document. And right here at the very top, this is going to be H1. That's the actual title of the book. And then this is like a subtitle. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this as H1 as well. And then this is the author information. I'm going to put this as H2. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and do Control Enter, and it's going to do a page break to bring that down. And then I'm going to go down to the forward, do Control Enter, and do another page break. And then I'm going to do page break at the beginning of each topic. So Johnny Curtis gives advice on dog training. Johnny Curtis is one of the authors. And then now we have Patricia Mason. So we're going to come right next to her name, do Control Enter, and it does a page break. And then we're going to scroll down until we see the next one. And this is Thomas Daniels. And then we scroll down, and then we see Juan Pierce. Control Enter. All I'm doing is I'm making spaces and making the actual text look that much better, and it makes it that much easier to read. There's Beverly Gardner, and then of course Peter Weber. So we have those there, and I believe that is it. And of course, in closing or finally, I'm going to change this to in closing. And of course here, thank you for reading my book. I would like to meet you, well, virtually anyway. Would you please click here and send me an email and introduce yourself? This is a great way to create a type of an email link for someone to click in. And of course, that email link can actually be set up to do a type of add to an autoresponder. And I'm going to put my email address here. And then I'm going to put a subject line, dog training. And I'm just going to put dog training book on Kindle. And I'm going to go ahead and click OK. So if someone clicks on that, that's exactly what they're going to be doing. And actually, I'm going to highlight that a little bit better. And I'm going to click on that link one more time. Make sure it as is, click OK to make sure I have everything in there. So now if you found this book useful, please consider leaving a review on Amazon. I am requesting that they do that. That will help me out and get more people going back there and leaving reviews. And then also please check out my other books on Amazon Kindle. I'm going to leave that there as well. And Now, the name that I go by on Kindle is AI Wordsmith. So there we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll up and I'm going to, in closing, I'm going to put that as H2. And then scroll up to the next portion. And this is the beginning, H2. And then here for Beverly Gardeners, I'm going to change this to H2. And then Peter Little, H2. Juan Pierce, H2. Thomas Daniels Tips, H2. Patricia Mason's, H2. I mean, this is how quickly I do a normal book. It doesn't take a lot of time. We're actually creating this book is pretty fast. That forward H2 looks good. That looks good. I'm going to bring that pretty close down to the bottom. There we go. And that should be H1. That's H2. Nope, we got that as H1 as well. Let's go ahead and change that to H2. There we go. So now we have everything here. Now I'm going to include my hyperlinks. Highlight that text, right click, go to link, society11.com. Do the exact same thing here. Right click, link, okay. So now I have the hyperlinks here as well. Now, I want to clean up the text that we have in this because there's some spelling issues. There's going to be some punctuation issues. So I'm going to open up Grammarly that I have here. And I'm going to allow it to start looking through. And I'm going to turn on contextual spelling, grammar, punctuation, and plagiarism. I want to make sure all of those are going. So while it's checking, I'm going to give it just a moment or two, and then I'm going to do the arrow down and start checking the text. So eventually, they're saying it should have a comma after it. So I'm going to click on that. And then here we have, looks like a half a sentence being attributed to this URL. Half a sentence is not a lot of text. And to be honest, what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and just delete that because I'm going to skip over it. It just doesn't do well there. It just doesn't make sense to go ahead and clear this out. So I'm going to clear that one out, and then I'm going to come here. That's not a lot of text there, so I'm not really worried about the what they're talking about plagiarism here. I'm just going a half a sentence. That's nothing. And then I'm going to change behavior to the American English version for behavior. And then I'm just clearing out the information as I see it. You scroll down and you're going to notice what you're going to be working on in Grammarly is going to be on the right-hand side. So let me go ahead and do undo there and click on the and. That's a half a sentence. I'm not worried about that. Comma, scroll down. Want things a little bit higher. There we go. Course. Half a sentence. No need for that. That's a half a sentence. That's not even a half a sentence. And a half a sentence again. Behavior, change that. And then put and then scroll down. And now we're in this one, so we highlight this. That's a 7-word sentence. I'm not worried about that. And half a sentence. Emphasize, correct that spelling. I'm not worried about that at all. Next. Scroll down. Whoop, scroll down too much. There we go. I'm not worried about that. Half a sentence, not worried about that. Not really worried about that. Eventually, behavior, change that. Now this one may be something that I would be a little bit more worried about. I may look at this real quick. When you train your dog, be competent or be patient. How about we just change that? Your dog wants to know that you're in charge, and how about patient and confident? Your dog wants to know that you are in charge and that you know what you are doing. Your dog wants to know that you are in control. And that you are capable of training. There we go. And then your dog wants to know that you are in, I'm not worried about that. And now we come to here. If you are inconsistent, anxious, irritable, angry, or in your way, unsustainable, while training your dog, you will not succeed. And we could change some of these words. Let me go ahead and change a few. Upset, inconsistent, or in any way unstable while training your dog. Okay. If you're not familiar with dog training, it is a very good idea to learn from books, videos, and people. That's not even a full sentence there. I'm not worried about that one. Put a comma there. And we put a comma there. We're good to go. And that's a half a sentence. We're just going to keep scrolling down. So time, half a sentence, ones, half a sentence. Keep scrolling down. And all you're doing is you're cleaning it up as you're going down. That's a half a sentence. I'm not worried about that one. And change the word for behavior. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Put a comma before and. Change favorite to the American version. Change that. Keep scrolling down. And then I'm going to expand this one out here. And I know it's just taking a little bit of time, but I want to make sure it's good and clean, that you have the complete expectations of exactly what I normally go through whenever I'm looking at this information. It is good to take your time. It is good to read the actual text that's coming out, because this is what's going to be going out to your customers, the ones that are going to be reading it. It is good, solid information. Dog owners should learn to listen to their pets. If a dog indicates that he's uncomfortable in a situation, such as another dog, it's never good to push him further than he wants to go. Take a step back and reevaluate the situation, or come back to it at a later date. That's just solid, good tip information. So we're just scrolling down and just looking through the text. We're just cleaning it up as we need to. Changing behaviors with a U to the American version. Here we keep scrolling down. Up, up, up. I know I missed something here. There we go. Don't worry about that. Change that. Then and only then should you build excitement by playing with the animal. I'm going to leave that as is. Change that. Or add the comma. Change behavior. Remove that comma. Change those behaviors. It's all about behaviors. Add the comma. Change that. Change that. Half a sentence. Grammarly is really particular and really picky, and that's a good thing. It wants you to get your eyes looking at the actual output to make sure everything is copacetic. Half a sentence, not worried about that. Behavior, favor, changing it to the English version, changing that. Now, like I said, this takes just a little bit of time. Now, all of these words and tips and tricks and articles are actually written by our editors. So there are 140 different um, categories, and each one has thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of tips and tricks, and that's exactly what our software does. And then, of course, with our software, we also create these authors or these members of the panel to actually who are giving their tips and tricks to your readers. So this is a type of curation of all of this information. So if you look at the very beginning of it, it'll actually say content curated by. We recommend that you go ahead and use that as well. And then, of course, put in your own URL, your own author name, etc. It is an extremely good way to do so. And it's a really good way to actually market those. And we're going to ignore that and ignore that half sentence. Not a lot of stuff to look at there. That's fine. Change behavior. Get rid of that. Add the comma. Half a sentence. And half a sentence. And half a sentence. So we keep scrolling down. We are about 3/4 of the way done. And I tell you, this is how quickly it can really go for you. Now, we're going to be doing a word count. It's going to tell us exactly how many words. There's 4,754 words in this document so far. So keep that in mind. Good behavior should be reinforced and bad behavior should be discouraged. Your dog. Yep, yep, yep. Looks good. Looks good. Fine with that. And fine with that. And I believe this may be the last one. Last author who's adding information to our book here. Homeschooling. Half a sentence. Partial sentence. Partial sentence. Between animals and humans. So, add the comma, half a sentence, change the spelling. This is how quickly, I keep telling you, it's this simple. Half a sentence, you, behavior, behavior. And that is it. So I'm going to scroll up just so you can see exactly everything here. So I'm just going to scroll down, see if there's anything here on the Grammarly side that may need to be changed. I notice we have a blank area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here just really quick. And I'm going to click on references, table of contents, automatic table of contents. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of these top three here, and then leave the forward, and then of course the 7 authors, and then the in closing. So there's our copyright, there's our forward, and then of course now we go into the authors. All I'm doing is making sure we have everything there. So boom. Cool. And just going to scroll down again, just make sure we got everything. We're good with that. It doesn't like the ellipsis, but that's okay. I'm just going to ignore those because I have the ability to do so. And I'm going to leave it as Wordsmith the way I have it set up there. So that's it. Grammarly says no more issues found. So we are good to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do File, and I'm going to do Save As, and I'm going to go into Downloads, and I'm going to put in Dog Training. I'm going to go ahead and choose Save. Now, once I have this document saved, what do I want to do next? What's the next thing that I'm going to want to be doing? And let me go ahead and scroll down here real quick. Just want to make sure everything is running smooth. So far it is. Looks like it's running great. So once we have it saved, I'm going to come over here to Kindle Create Software, where this is something that you can actually grab from the actual Kindle store. So I'm waiting for it to come up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a new project from File. And I'm going to choose the file, make sure it's a docx, and there's our dogtraining.docx. I'm going to double click on it, and it's importing the actual Word doc into our product here. So I'm just going to click on that and then just accept all. So here's our dog training, and then what I'm going to do is that's our subtitle. I'm going to make sure that's there. And then I'm going to make that subtitle as well, but I'm going to bring that down closer to the bottom. There we go. So there's our contents, our forward, our authors, and then in closing, we have all of that here. So I just want to click on this, highlight this text here, do subtitle. Okay. And there's our rights, our legal information. So dog training, it's about the training of the dogs, curated, forward, and then we go into the actual author's information, all of their guides, their tips, their tricks. You can see everything here. And then, of course, in closing, we have thank you for reading my book. I would like to meet you, well, virtually anyway. Would you please click here and send me an email and introduce yourself? If you found this book to be useful, please consider leaving a short review on Amazon. Please check out my other books on Amazon Kindle. Thank you, AI Wordsmith. So we have everything for this. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to change our actual titles here. And we're going to go to a website called title-generator.com. So I'm going to open up another tab here, paste that in. And once it comes up to this page, and I'm going to type in dog training, and I'm going to click on get headlines. Now, this will take just a couple of minutes. I'm going to go ahead and go full screen so you can see everything here. And I'm going to scroll down a little bit. So dog training and the Chuck Norris effect. I don't think that one's a good one. Make that dog training. I don't like that one at all. What you can do about dog training right now. Interesting facts I bet you never knew about dog training. how to use dog training to desire, stop wasting time and start dog training, essential dog training smartphone apps. Let's scroll down a little bit. The best way to do dog training, how to teach dog training like a pro. That one's pretty good. I kind of like that one. How to do dog training like a pro. That one would probably be a little bit more what I'm looking for. The lazy way to dog training. That one's pretty good as well. A lot of people like that. Um, but our book is about 7 people coming together to create this book, to bring all of their tips, their knowledge, everything. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to call this uh, 7 dog trainers. Uh, 7 dog trainer tips for you and your dog. It's all about the relationships with dogs. I like that. 7 dog trainer tips for you and your dog. It is all about the relationships with our dogs. That's going to be the title, and that's the subtitle. So I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to come back over here to Kindle Create, highlight this text here, paste it in. 7 dog trainers tips for you and your dog. And then I'm going to change the subtitle. Paste that right here. Boom. It's all about the relationships with our dogs. And that is true. Cancel. I'm going to go ahead and save. Dog training. That's what we're looking for. Okay. So now we have our title. We have, let's see here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 29 pages. So let's go ahead and take a preview at it. Let's take a look at it. So we could actually run through here and take a look at this, what it's going to look like on Kindle devices, which is really nice looking. So here's, now we haven't done the cover yet. We're going to be doing a cover too. So keep that in mind. I'm going to show everything before we upload this or in the process of uploading this. And I'm even going to teach you what I use. So we have 7 dog trainers tips for you and your dog. It is all about the relationships with our dogs, curated by Society 11. Content. So there's the forward, there's the 7 members of our panel giving their best tips and advice, and then of course in closing, and then of course copyright 2020, the URL going over to society11.com, forward, and then it goes on from here. I really like this one though. I like the way it looks. And I'm just going to read a paragraph here real quick. When you train your dog, be patient and confident. Your dog wants to know that you are in control and that you know what you are capable of training. If you are inconsistent, anxious, irritable, upset, or in any way unstable while training your dog, you will not succeed. You must be calm, consistent, and competent. If you are not familiar with dog training, it is a very good idea to learn from books, videos, and people who know uh, before you get a dog. This content writes very well. It is all done via AI as well as with our editor team. Very good. And then, of course, using DeepL for translation services, and then also bringing it in to Grammarly to clean up, look at the plagiarism information, do any type of changes that you may need to do. Very good system so far. So now that we have everything here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on save one more time. It's saved. Now I'm going to publish it. So I'm going to click on save. And now we're going to upload our KPF file to Kindle. So I'm going to log into my Kindle. and I'm going to click on Ebook and log in here. All right, so now we are going to be coming over to our book title. Our book title is right here, 7 Dog Trainers. I'm going to put a asterisk there. There we go. Or an apostrophe rather, and then subtitle. And then paste that in. Okay, so we don't have a series name information or series number, or we're not doing an edition number on this as well either. So our author is I, and our last name is Wordsmith. And then, of course, now we're going to need a description. Well, our description is a lot about in our actual forward. So I'm just going to just copy that information here, come right back over. Now, you may want to go ahead and expand out of your description, make it better, because we're talking about marketing here. We're talking about being able to put in a description about your book, the reason why you're writing this book, why you know people need to read this book, and that's exactly what the descriptions are for. So this is something that I think that you're going to be being able to utilize quite well, and I want to make sure that you understand that. The next thing that you're going to choose is I own the copyright and I hold the necessary publishing rights. And now we have our 7 search keywords that describe your book. How do I choose these keywords? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to come on over to Amazon Kindle short reads is what I'm going to put here, because that's what we're creating is short reads. And what I'm looking for is this section here. So I want to make sure I'm underneath Kindle short reads, and I'm going to start typing in dog training, and I want to see what pops up, if anything. Book or okay, if we don't see anything there yet, we may need to come back here to Amazon, and then we're going to type in dog training. So now we have training treats, we have training collar, training pads, training treat pouch, training book. Uh, that is something that you want to keep an eye on, because people search for these. And when they search on Amazon and you see these searches very close to the top, those are the ones that we're going to be wanting to look for. So I'm going to type in book, and then I'm going to books for kids, books for puppies, books for adult dogs. That's exactly what we're doing. So we're going to copy that. That's our very first one. And then our next one, we're going to click on this again. And then let's see here, books for puppies. I'm going to copy that. And then we'll come back over here. And then I'm going to come back over here and get rid of the books for puppies. Go back to books, and then books for kids. You know, having kids learn how to train their dogs, that's an excellent idea. And now we come back over here. You're going to want to make sure that you fill up all 7 sections. Dog training books, aggression. That is something that, you know, no one wants to have an aggressive dog. Really, and in true person, if they love their animal, they don't want to have an aggressive animal. You don't want to use Caesar's name on there, but you can if you wanted to. Totally up to you. Let's go ahead and do for adult dogs. So I'm going to grab that text and I'm going to paste that one in here. You want to make sure that you have all of these search terms filled out. You want the most popular search terms right here. And for dummies, that's something that you may want to check out a little bit. Now there are the For Dummies team. It is a brand name, so you may not want to do that. For corgis, that's an actual breed, dog training for corgis. So let's go ahead and put the corgis in here. I'm actually going to get rid of the one for dummies. I'm just going to put, let's go to 4. So we have kids, teenagers, there we go. Or even pit bulls. We could choose either one of those, but I'm going to put teenagers. So we have dog training books for puppies, dog training books for kids, dog training books aggression, dog training books, adult dogs, dog training books for teenagers, dog training books, corgis. Those are the 7 main keywords that we saw on here. So now we have those 7 keywords selected for our key book. The next thing we're going to do is set the category. Now, this is nonfiction. It is nonfiction because it's based on training. So you're going to have to come down here, and then, of course, you're going to expand out pets. You're going to expand out dogs, and then you're going to check mark training. I'm also going to choose general, and I'm going to choose just those 2 right there. Use general and training. Choose save. So now I have my 2 categories selected as well. Now, the age range for these types of books is totally up to you. I recommend that you do not fill this section out. There's no need for it, to be honest. So what we're going to do is I'm ready to release my book now. I'm going to go ahead and click on save and continue, and it's going to go through here, and boom. So now our next thing is the digital rights management, enable DRM. So what does DRM do? What this does is this limits down to only being able to be shown off on Kindle devices. So I'm going to leave that as no. I want to make sure you understand that because you want to be able to have people to read it on computers, on their phones, on iPads, on other tablets, on multiple different phones, multiple different devices, not just a Kindle device. So I like to leave this as no. And now I'm going to upload the book manuscript. We saved it just a little bit ago from the Kindle Create, and that's the dog training KPF. And I'm going to go ahead and choose open. And here it's going to take just a moment or 2 for it to upload. And it is done. It has been uploaded. So now what we could do is we could go and create our Kindle ebook cover. So what do we do here? We can either launch the cover creator that Kindle has, or you could upload if you already have one made or have had one made. You can go over to Fiverr and get one created there. What I do is I use a actual service called Stencil. I've been using Stencil for quite a few years now, and they actually have some really, really good templates that you could utilize, that you could use, that you can create ebook templates with. So I'm going to go ahead and click on templates, and I'm going to do the drop down here, and you're going to see the one that says ebook. And the minute you choose ebook, you could click around and actually take a look at these particular styles that we have. Ebook cover should be 1600 by 2560. We have the size already selected here for us. I don't like the way that one looks. I'm going to click on this one just for a second because what I'm thinking about doing is coming over to icons, and I'm going to type in dogs, see what I find here for dogs. Just take a look at, because I like the yellow. See here. That dog looks a little sad. I like that dog there. So we have tons of icons that we can include into our book here. So I'm going to select that, get rid of that, get rid of that. And I like this. Let me go ahead and pick a couple of dog faces here. Make it a little bit bigger. We'll choose this one. And then we'll move him in. And then we'll choose this one. Bring him down and make him a little bit bigger. And then right here is our author name. Our author name is A.I. Wordsmith. Okay, and now there is what our title of our book is going to be, which is, scroll back up, 7 Dog Trainers Tips for You and Your Dog. And then, of course, we can make the text a little bit bigger, filling up a little bit more room, but we don't want to have too much room to where it's too big. And we'll bring him over just a little bit more. And we may bring this one down. And we could switch this around just a little bit just to populate dogs in here. Add a couple more dogs. Oh, let's see here. We'll add this one in here just to give a range of breeds and looks of dogs and everything else. And then we're going to change this text to our subtitle. I'm going to change this to it's. Just like that. And then I'm going to click on the text here, widen it out. And then I'm going to left justify it. Come down just a little bit because I want to get rid of that. And there we go. 7 dog trainers tips for you and your dog. It's all about the relationships with our dogs. I like the way that cover looks. I'm downloading it. And as soon as it's done downloading, I'm going to come right back on over to Kindle. And I'm going to upload a cover, upload my cover file. And maybe underneath my pictures, I just want to find out where I put this. Show in folder. Ah, it's in my downloads. Oh, that was a PNG. Let me download this as a JPEG. Because if you notice here, it's got to be a JPEG. Now I can upload my file. There it is. Say successful. Here in just a moment, you're actually going to see the image of the actual cover refreshing there. We can click on Launch Previewer so we could actually take a look at it at the same time. So it's preparing our files. And like I said, I told you I was going to do everything. I am actually uploading this complete file. I've got the image for the image book. My apologies. For the cover done, it's uploaded. We've got the manuscript done. It's written over 4,000 words. Matter of fact, there is 4,800 words throughout the whole book. So it's a pretty good sized book. So it'll take just a moment or two for this to finish converting the file format. Live trainings are fun. I will tell you that. This has definitely been enjoyable. This is the 3rd one I've done this week. And I think I'm going to continue to do on because a lot of people are asking questions. How does it work? What's the best way to run it? And I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to also give you different ideas, being able to open up the idea of using Google Docs, or if you don't have Google Docs, you got Microsoft Word, how to actually use Microsoft Word. So we could see everything here. So that is the cover. That looks gigantic. So I may need to re-upload that because I do not like the way that looks. So I'm going to come back to book details. And it may not have downloaded properly. So I'm going to go ahead and choose save here real quick. And then I'm going to download again. I'm going to leave this as JPEG, 16 by 25. Leave it at digital. I'm going to download again. And I just want to take a look at it. It looks good there. Let's try uploading that again. Upload your cover. I just didn't like the way that looked, so we're going to take just a moment or two. And then it should refresh. There, that looks much better. That's the way it should have looked. If I go ahead and look at the launch previewer now, this will probably look much, much better. Sometimes in the digital world, things just don't download properly. That's what it appeared here. And if that's the case, just re-download it, upload it, good to go. But always keep your eye on what, if it doesn't look right, make a change, because it's your book, it's your reputation as well. Great way to keep some thought process into that is at the same time. So now it's converted into files again, just the same amount of time that it took the last time to bring up preview. That's what it's going to take this time. So it's going to take just a few minutes. I'm going to check a couple of things here real quick while this is running. Awesome. Here it comes up. That looks much better. Oh, that looks much better. So I'm going to go ahead and click next. That looks good. I did notice one thing, and it's right at the very beginning. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it here in just a second. I'm going to show you what I'm looking at. There's contents, refresh. And it may have just been an issue there with, okay, see that? That should all be on one page. So I'm going to make a change here in Kindle, in the Kindle Create. It's all the way up at the very top. I'm going to delete a couple of spaces just to make sure that it doesn't bleed down. And then I'm going to choose Save, Publish. Save, it's going to, are we wanting to replace it? Yes. And then click OK. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to go back to the book details. And I'm going to click on Upload Ebook Manuscript again. We just resaved it. And I'm going to re-upload it. Okay, it has been re-uploaded. I could click on Launch Previewer again, but I believe it should be fine. That, and I want to make sure that I'm done within the hour. So the ebook ISBN, that is optional. Since this is an ebook, you don't have to have one. I'm going to leave the publisher alone as well. We're going to leave that as empty, and I'm just going to click Save and Continue. And now it's preparing our files. And this will take just a moment, and we're going to be moving on to our very last section, which is pricing. We all want to learn a little bit more about pricing. I know I do. Actually, wait a minute. I'm the one teaching it. Never mind. Anyway, here we go. We are done. We're getting ready to move. And Amazon is bringing over, we're coming over into the ebook pricing. The very first thing I'm going to tell you is you want to enroll in KDP Select. Check mark that box. You want to be part of it. You can earn more money. You can reach more readers, maximize your sales potential. This is what you want to do. You want to check mark that box. Territories, all. You want to be everywhere. You want to have maximum exposure for your book. Keep that in mind. KDP pricing support beta. This is the first time, I'm going to be honest with you, this is the first time I see this at this point in time. I'm going to skip over this until I can learn a little bit more about this, just FYI. So this is a change that they've just been bringing out. But what I'm going to look at is the royalty plan. If you choose 35%, which doesn't sound like a lot, um, oh, not a problem, not a problem. Um, Welcome. This training, I'm just trying to make sure everyone has full access to this. It's being featured inside of Society 11, the main group, Society 11 Moneymakers group, on my profile, in a low content group that I also own. And then it's also being broadcast on my YouTube account as well, because I want to make sure everyone has the opportunity, no matter where they're at, to get access to this information. Yes, it's going to be available right here as you see it, Mike. So you're going to be able to see it. Okay. So with when you choose the 35% royalty and pricing plan, um, what you get is, oh yeah, it'll be up here. You'll be able to see it, as well as you can always go over to my YouTube channel as well, Mike. Mike's asking, will I keep this replay available? Yes. Yes. So you can select your royalty plan. 35%, when you choose it, your prices must be between 99 cents and $200. It sounds like a pretty wide range. Now, if you choose 70%, in other words, you're going to take 70% of the cut, your prices must be between $2.99 and $9.99. I'm going to be honest with you. That's exactly what I'm doing these ebooks for, is $2.99, and I'm choosing the 70% royalty plan. That's what I recommend. It's totally up to you. Now, if you expand out the other marketplaces, you're going to notice that it is going to be switching over to prices to their locations. That's fine. Just leave it as is. Amazon's a smart system. It'll adjust those prices for you. And now the very last thing that we get to do is click this button right here to publish your Kindle ebook. Now, what I have done in the 58 minutes is I've walked you through the whole process. I'm going to go ahead and click publish your Kindle ebook now, and I'm going to bring up my bright and shiny face so you can actually see me at the same time. While this is going on, congrats, my 7 dog trainers tips for you and your dog. It is all about the relationships with our dogs by AI Wordsmith. You can actually see everything right there. It may take up to 72 hours. Normally it takes me a couple hours and it'll be live. Now, how can you go ahead and start getting your books, making your books and everything else? Well, the very first thing is you got to be inside of Society 11. Society 11 is where that software, the Kindle Book Creator software, is hosted at. It is a software that I own and operate, and it's just part of what Society 11 can do for you. We also have other software such as PickLinker. We have Chromicode, where you can actually make your own Chrome extensions. We have email sequence writers. We have uh, tons and tons and tons of training in software, as well as the main Society 11 marketing group, Internet Marketers Group, which can help you understand and grow your business. That's our whole focus. So our book is done. If I wanted to go ahead and start the paper book now, I could. I'll probably be doing that next week, showing you how to use the output for actually paperbacks at the same time. But for right now, this is going to be drawing an end to this particular training. I hope that you have enjoyed it. I hope that you have found value with this particular training. I have enjoyed it. This is something that I enjoy doing, is making sure people understand how to use my software that I create, and they can utilize it and maximize it. With Kindle ebooks, it is, especially short reads, it is a numbers game. And I'm taught you exactly how to create a book, everything from over almost 5,000 words written for you. I didn't write a single word. Not one word did I write. I may have changed a few words, but I didn't write that content. The content was created because one person, Doria, suggested dog training, and I selected that. And my team of editors, my team of writers, my team of AI consultants to actually do all the writing help create and compile all of that detailed writing for us. Then we did some cleaning it up with using a translation tool, and then we use Grammarly to clean up the writing even more. These books read extremely well. These books are going to help you grow your audience, especially in Amazon. So I am going to go ahead and sign off now. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for sticking around and watching this training. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you need anything, please do not hesitate to hit me up. Until next time, take care.